Network Entertainment.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to wherever you're watching this podcast from here in the Philippines and from all over the world. Welcome to the RJ Ledesma podcast. In my podcast, I like to speak to inspiring business leaders and entrepreneurs to learn more about how they think about doing business. What are their success secrets? Can we replicate those success secrets in our own businesses? And most importantly, what business opportunities do they see emerging in the near future? Do you know any great business leaders who you'd like me to interview here on the podcast? Please let me know. I would love to learn from them as well. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. In today's podcast, I've got two inspiring women from PETNET. Diana Lim is the Vice President of PETNET Forex Solutions and spearheads sales and operations for PETNET Global Business, which caters to business-to-business cross-border payments. She boasts a compelling 11-year tenure at the company, being involved in operations from leading teams in sales, data, people managers, and B2B strategies. We're also here with Camille de la Paz Villafuerte, who is a Senior Assistant Vice President and the Head Trader for Forex Trading, which provides accessible, convenient, and efficient business trading solutions through the buying and selling of US dollars. DM, Camille, welcome to the RJ Ledesma podcast. Very happy to have you girls on the show. And before we start, sometimes there are people here who might not be too familiar with what PETNET does. So let's say, for example, we do an elevator pitch. So we're going up an elevator and you've got 30 seconds to explain to somebody what PETNET is all about. Who'd like to explain what PETNET is in a nutshell?
Oh, sure. Well, I can just tell him, you know what, PETNET Forex Solutions is actually a company you can trust. We provide you the best rate in terms of Forex solution, and you can always rely on our account officers and traders. So it's always best to transact with us.
I see. So help me better understand. Many people who listen to the program are actually entrepreneurs. What are the type of entrepreneurs who would best avail of or would best like to patronize the services of PETNET?
Well, you know what? In terms of the foreign exchange solution side, many people would think that it's only fitted for those in export and import business. But really, the forex solutions applies to all kind of industry, and it doesn't matter if it's a small, medium business. It doesn't matter if it's if you're an importer or exporter. But from our experience, these are across all industries, like manufacturing, electronics, and high tech. Mostly, also for fixtures and buildings. So those are the most common that needs. But as I said, it's actually across industries.
Yeah.
I see. Yes,
Maybe
please.
I could add, we also have a lot of BPOs. We have a lot of manning shipping companies, and we have a lot of digital services clients as well. And actually, now that we're in the digital space, we're seeing a lot of clients, more savvy ones who like the fact that we do everything digitally. So I guess we attract a lot of clients like that as well.
Very interesting. So I belong to an organization called BNI where we actually deal with a lot of these MSMEs or micro, small, medium enterprises who are in those industries, whether it's furniture or electronics, where there is a lot of import-export going on. Well, more importation for the products and the need to pay people in foreign currency. So I can see right now the relevance for even smaller entrepreneurs to be able to avail of the services of something like PETNET. So when we look at PETNET here right now, what are the basic, I guess, pain points that you often see for smaller entrepreneurs when it comes to availing of Forex services? But before that one, I think the more important thing, to put everybody on the same page, maybe it's time to better explain. We can't know what Forex. Maybe we even have to say, what is foreign exchange and what is Forex trading or the Forex market? Let's put everybody on the same page. Camille or DM, please go ahead.
Okay, so basically foreign exchange is exchanging one currency for another. So the simplest example is like an importer, someone who is ordering goods from the US. They can't pay for the goods in peso, right? So they have to pay the supplier in dollar. But our operations and our funding is in pesos. So the company or the entrepreneur has to go to a foreign exchange company or a bank and say, hey, I have, let's say, 1,000,000 pesos. I need to convert this to dollars in order to purchase the goods from the US. So essentially, that's what we do. We make it easy for the for entrepreneurs and companies to do their conversions. Yeah.
So, having said that, no, and in your years of experience of dealing with both entrepreneurs and larger corporations, what have you seen as the main pain point that they faced when it comes to forex trading, especially in terms of doing business, DM?
Right. So if you do foreign exchange, so there's going to be a lot of currency rates exchanges, and one of the most common problem is timing of payments, because these are different currencies and we transact in different countries with different time zones and with different cut-offs of their receiving back. So timing is actually one of their greatest problem. Second is...
Can you explain how does timing become a problem?
Right. Okay, so like let's say for an importer, they need to settle payment right now. And they need that payment to be received within the day. When do I need to make the payment? Do I need to make the payment in the morning, yesterday, for my beneficiary to receive it the following day on their currency and in their bank? So those kind of nuances. When do I need to pay in order for my receiver to get the funds on time?
Oh, so isang headache yan sa isang entrepreneur kasi syempre he has to have the additional burden of saying, oh, kailangan magbabayad or you know, tama bang ginagawa ko, di ba?
Anong time zone na ba ngayon?
I see.
Sa supplier ko, kailangan ba pinadala ko to kahapon, na-receive ba niya to dapat ngayon? So those kind of timing payments, timing in the payments.
So timing is one issue for small entrepreneurs. What's another issue that you also encounter?
There's also a concern on the complexity of the exchange. Like let's say, if I'm an exporter, let's say, and I would want, of course, the peso value going up before I exchange it. So as an exporter, is it for me, should I convert it right now or should I wait so that I get the most value for the money that I have?
I see.
So the complexity of the exchange rate on how it's actually being affected is also a concern. Especially if you also handle or you're involved in third currencies.
What do you mean by third currencies?
Third currencies are like other currency aside from US dollar.
Okay.
So these are euro, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. So those currencies, we thank you for pointing out, we usually refer to them as third currencies. Of course, when you pay in third currency or other currency aside from US dollar, you would usually the process would be your peso be converted in dollar and then to the third currency. So there's that complexity on how much do I need to convert in dollar in order for me to be able to pay in that specific amount in the third currency or in Japanese yen.
I see. So just for many of us, because like for me, this is the first time I'm encountering it as a businessman, that you can't just pay directly in that currency.
No.
It always has to go through the US dollar first, converted to US dollar before being converted to the other
Right,
currency.
yes.
Is there a particular reason why?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the US dollar is the main currency that's being used around the world. So most of the currencies are pegged at the US dollar. So 1 euro to US dollar, 1 peso to US dollar,
I
1
see.
yen to US dollar.
Yeah, so usually as well, peso, it's not usually being used in, like, let's say in Japan. So a receiver in Japan would not accept a peso. They would accept dollar. So that's why most of the time the process is you have to convert it in dollar.
Dollar
That's
first.
what Camille was saying.
Yeah.
I see.
Because dollar is the most commonly traded.
I see. And I hope you mind me asking another question. Let's say, for example, when I do travel abroad and you bring pesos with you, you can go to a foreign exchange there and
Right.
give your peso to get yen.
Yes.
There's no third currency over there, right?
Right.
But then, how does it work now? But when you go through a business transaction, it's a different ballgame altogether.
Well, essentially, it's the same. So if you go abroad, you bring your pesos and you exchange it for yen. What that money changer is doing is first converting it to dollar.
I see.
But if you're a business owner, it really depends on how knowledgeable you are in the forex market. So if you're very I guess, abreast on the market, then you would know exactly what the exchange rate is if you do the math. But there are some businesses that we encounter as well that they don't necessarily know how to manage their foreign exchange. So sometimes they look at the first leg, which is peso to dollar, and then they look at dollar to yen. So that's two different currencies that, actually three currencies that you're monitoring. So what we do, of course, in PETNET is make it simpler for you. Okay, this is the thirds rate from peso. So you don't have to think about the in-between.
I see.
Yeah.
Kasi palagay ko sa bilang isang entrepreneur, that's an additional, friction, additional headache for us because, our job is, like for me as an entrepreneur, my job is to focus on thinking about the business.
Yes, that's
Then all of a sudden, you've got to think about, oh my gosh, I got to think about the exchange rate all of a sudden. And that takes you away from your game, right? That takes you away from your game of focusing on the business. Very interesting. So, number one, we talked about the importance of the problem of timing. Number two, of complexity, particularly with third currencies. What's other problems that entrepreneurs also encounter?
I think last maybe that's most common is the volatility in the exchange rate. Though we've slightly touched on that earlier, but the volatility on the currency, as I mentioned earlier, is this the best time to purchase? I've pegged my cost for this importation of the product at this rate, but the rate is actually moving up and down. Can I hold the payment right now and maybe pay next month? Is there or tomorrow, is there a view that it's going down, or is there a view if it's going up? So the volatility of exchange rate is also a factor that's a bit of a headache as well for our entrepreneurs or businessmen.
That's right. You wanted to add, Camille?
Yeah, so good to add then. One of, I think, major pain points is for businesses to actually know how to go about paying and what documents they need. So, especially if you're an entrepreneur and it's your first time to do an FX,
yes, because
or a payment abroad.
Just to interrupt you, I'm so sorry, but that's the case of many people. They go, it's the first time I'm going to start exporting my product. I'm going to start importing. My gosh, what do I need? Probably these additional documents. It's not that easy as going to the currency exchange and getting money, right?
Especially if it's a bigger amount than you can't do it over the counter. You have to do it through an institution that does it for big volume. So of course we teach our clients then what documents you need prior, what are the steps in order to do the currency exchange and to do the actual transfer to the beneficiary abroad.
Got that. Very, very interesting. So now, this is where, like we said, our job as businesses are to solve pain points. And this is where PETNET comes in with regard to foreign exchange. We're solving the four problems of course, timing, volatility, complexity, and plus documentation.
Yeah, right.
So help me understand how PETNET helps solve those concerns for the entrepreneur.
Right, okay. So maybe one at a time in terms
One
of
at a time,
timing.
yes.
Yeah. In terms of timing, we allow our customers to actually settle in different value dates. Like let's say value today, value tomorrow, and value spot. Which let's say if you're preparing for a payment and you need to receive it the following day, but you want to have it ready today already. So we can deal with that transaction already, and you can just say, okay, but the delivery of this will be tomorrow.
I see.
So you can say, I'm booking this value tomorrow. So we're going to have that exchange the following day. Value spot, on the other hand, is the trading date plus 2 days.
Okay.
So if let's say I don't need it right now, but I want to make sure that everything is prepared and that the payment gets there in time, I'm going to deal with you right now, but our delivery would be 2 days from now.
I see.
And then value today, we just exchange it today. We release the payment today as well. And the good thing about here is that we give you a timeline of references. Like let's say, if you pay for this now, this will be received by your beneficiary in the X period of, or in the number of hours. So at least you know, or you would be informed when your beneficiary will be paid. So that's actually in terms of payment. But this is really for if you're paying outside of the country. For our trading side, it's really very quick. I mean, but we do follow as well the value today, value tomorrow, and value spot. But if let's say you just need it deposited, the dollar, you just need it deposited to your local account here in the Philippines, and we can also do it today
I see.
a matter of hours, and then or tomorrow, or on the 3 days from now. So it can be applied like that. So in a way, we manage how you, or when you actually send out your payment, and when we exchange that foreign exchange currency.
So it really comes in to bring better decision making
Right.
Yes.
for the business owner. I hope you don't mind if I ask this question now. Which businesses are the most sensitive to making sure? Because I mean, not all businesses have the sort of sensitivity of what the value is today and the value tomorrow. If there are businesses listening to us here right now, which ones in particular should timing be an issue for? What type of businesses? What nature of businesses that are paying abroad?
Actually, it's not industry specific.
Mhm.
I guess it's a matter of the business knowing their liquidity, if they know if the timing is right to make a deal
I see.
today. And I guess it also goes back to educating the clients or the businesses that, if you like the rate today and you have the funds ready tomorrow, then we have the
see.
liberty, to lock in the rate today and we settle everything tomorrow. So I guess, yeah, that I really can't say that, for importers it's like this. No, it really depends.
But really, it's really sound decision making,
Yes.
and more of a good financial housekeeping, I guess,
Right,
on the
right,
part
right,
of the business owner. Really interesting. So we talked about volatility. Let's talk now about complexity.
Right,
How does PETNET solve the issue of complexity for the business owner when it comes to foreign exchange? DM.
Yes. So you see, our tagline is actually seamless, simple, and personalized. So we'd like to make it easy to our clients. So earlier we've touched based on how you actually convert with different currencies. For us, it's just you just need to get the rate for that specific currency, and you will be quoted against peso.
I see.
You don't need to think about what goes in between.
So no need to worry about this change to this or to change to this one. Okay, got that.
So
Got that.
it's a straightforward computation for you, and even your accounting people, it will be easier for them to manage. Oh, at this cost for this currency, this is the equivalent peso. I don't need to think, but the value of the dollar changed, and it's going to also have an impact on how we're going or how much we're going to send for this currency. So you don't have to think about that. There's no more in between exchange rate, and it's very straightforward. You ask for the rate, we give it to you. If you like it, we book the deal for you, and then we send it out to you or we transfer it to your account.
Got that. Camille, do you want to add to that?
No, actually, she answered it perfectly.
And having said that, maybe we can move on to the next question for you with regard to volatility. How does PETNET handle the issue of volatility, and how does it make it easier or less or more frictionless for the business owner?
Right. So, volatility is something that everyone, even banks, they try to analyze. And usually there's a forecast. We do a study, we do our forecast based on economic data. And even banks get it wrong. No one will get it perfect. And I understand even the businesses, of course, will have a hard time understanding. So what we try to do is simplify what is happening in the market. What economic data will trigger a movement in the currency that you're looking at. And so what we do is we give market updates regularly. We give them a forecast. Like for today, we expect the rate to be 57.80 to 58 flat, so on. And then, of course, we like to talk to our clients. Know what is the timing of your payments? Like, how do you see your liquidity, and what is your target level? Of course, businesses want to save on costs, right, as much as possible, and manage their risk, price their goods and services accordingly. So we work with them, make sure that we try as much as possible to hit their target levels, and we advise them if it's impossible to hit the target level that they're looking at.
So that they can plan again accordingly.
Yes, plan again,
Oo.
yeah. So.
And when you talk about volatility and you say you update your clients regularly, how regularly do you update the clients of PETNET?
It really depends on the client. So there are clients who like to see our updates every day because every day they have a transaction of some sort, or they're monitoring a payment within a week. Some clients like it monthly. It really depends on their timeline of their payments as well.
I see.
Yeah.
And last one which you brought up, which I find very interesting, is actually the documentation, because they say that the devil is in the details, right? So tell us a bit more about the documentary requirements that are involved. Particularly, is there a specific size of currency when the documentation level changes or becomes more complex? And how actually does PETNET come into the picture to help the clients when it comes to documentary requirements?
Okay. So maybe to go back, there are set documents that BSP, which is the governing body for banks and institutions like us. So they do have a list of documents that they require businesses to provide prior to making a purchase in foreign currency. So what we do, of course, businesses aren't aware or are not fully aware of the things that they need. So when we meet a client, one of the things that we checklist in our checklist is that we ask them, okay, so these are the things that I need. Can you provide it, or do you have it ready? So that gives them time to say, okay, no, I don't have it. Let me go back to my supplier. I need this. Or they can say, okay, this is what I can provide. Can we use this instead? So what we do is we check. Of course, we do our due diligence. We check, and if we say that, okay, this is a good enough document, so we try as much as possible to adjust to what our clients currently have. And if it's something that's a non-negotiable, then we actually have to inform the client that, this is a requirement by BSV.
So the transaction cannot push through unless this document is presented
and
over
in
there.
terms of sizes, again, if you read BSV's document, it's like a whole textbook, right? But our general rule is essentially, if you're buying dollars, everything needs to be documented. But for businesses, there is a certain leeway, especially for importers, that if they buy anything below $1 million a day, then there is some leniency as to the documents that they can provide. Anything above $1 million, then they would have to present those importation documents.
Thanks so much. Very enlightening discussion here right now, especially for first-time importers or exporters trying to figure out their way around Forex. And having already absorbed all those different information about the Forex, the next question would be, it would be great to work with PETNET, but can I better understand? I'm sure that there are other companies that also provide similar services to what you're doing because they understand all these things. What exactly is the value added that PETNET brings to the picture that might not be something that other companies are able to do as well as PETNET?
So it's actually a nice question. And in fact, just this last year we did client listening to better understand why they really liked us. And one of the message that we got is that we are very, very easy to talk to. There's always someone who takes care of them. So for us, we have about 50 account officers and about 20 plus traders who actually manages the client's transaction. So everybody is actually assigned a trader and account officer.
So customized.
Yes, it's personalized, it's customized to your need. And whenever you have a question, there's always someone who will reach out, who will answer to you and provide you with the information that you need. Second, I think, is that we have a very competitive pricing in terms of our foreign exchange rate. So we have a natural inflow of US dollar, which makes us priced aggressively as well in the market. So in that sense, the clients would have, let's say, other options looking at, is PETNET providing me a better rate as compared to the competition right now or to my current provider. So they actually like that. It's a way that actually sets us apart as well from our competition, because what we always tell our client is we of course would want to beat the competition. We would, if we can provide that rate that you need, we will definitely find a way to actually give you that rate. So we provide that personalized and customized service and competitive rates, and we make it easy. As we've said, transaction is as easy as you ask for the rate, we booked it for you, and then we send it out. We provide you the corresponding documentation trail. You don't need to ask for it.
Okay.
And maybe to add,
please.
I guess what makes us different is that we've adapted to the digital age. Right. So we've found ways to allow clients to send documents to us via email and then get the original documents after. Sometimes kasi you want it done now. You want the payment.
That's business.
Yeah, business. And let's deal with the paperwork after, or the original documents take time. So that. And then we also have several banks that we have in the Philippines. So this allows clients to actually move their funds easily. So like, for example, your business might have maybe 5 bank accounts, right? And then you want to purchase dollars, but you say, okay, I have a certain amount in this bank A, another maybe $1 million in bank B. Can I split my payments, because this is what I currently have? So what we'll do is, it's fine. If you want to pay this amount from this bank and this amount from this bank, we'll take it all in and then we'll send out your dollars accordingly.
I see. Yes, please go ahead.
Because if you actually do it via bank, not for anything, you would have to transfer all of that correspondence
Into one account.
into one
Bank,
account
And then
before you can transact.
send it over
Yeah,
them. I
that
see.
takes time and money.
And that speaks of, understanding the client experience.
Right.
Because I understand that very, very clearly when you were talking about that example. And I also understand that one of the, I would say, secret sauce, or one of the things that make you, that gives you an advantage is actually the certification of many of your traders. Is that right?
Right.
Tell me a bit more about that.
Okay, so all of our traders currently have are certified treasury persons. So we take it's like a 2-week-long course with BAP Ateneo, so Bankers Association of the Philippines Ateneo certification course. So they have to take the classroom training, and then they have to take the exams. So that's one. Secondly, we have what we call the trading apprenticeship. So it's a 1-year-long course where we teach everything related to sales, trading, operations, liquidity, management of the company proprietary trading. So we teach everything, and I guess from there, parang we teach them in milestones. So we'll start off with the basic, and then to the very end, when you graduate, you should be able to function by yourself and operate everything alone. So that's the intensive trading that we have for our traders.
Well, really great to know that we're in good hands working together with PETNET. Yes, Diane.
To add to that, even if you've graduated, finished your treasury certification program, we do have regular trainings as well, just to make sure that we are up to the latest in terms of foreign exchange currency or market movement. So there's also a daily review of what's going on in the economy. So we'd actually better price or better advise our client. So it's the best time to buy now. It's best time to, or dollars going up, dollars going down. So we have that purview, and it's done regularly, in fact, in a daily basis.
Wow. I'm sure we've generated some interest from many SMEs and businesses that might want to engage the Forex services of PETNET. So the next question is, where can they get in touch with PETNET?
Right. So we do have a website which they can also check out and inquire. So it's www.petnetforexsolutions.com. You can also send an email at info_forexsolutions@petnet.com.ph or call us via our mobile hotline. It's 0917 809-2613 or our landline, it's 879-6026.
Yeah, brand ambassador ng PETNET
We're
dito.
also on LinkedIn
great,
and
great.
Facebook. So if you didn't catch the email, you can just search us on social
Right.
media.
Fantastic. So right now, I have a lot of entrepreneurs who are listening to this program, and what they're going, there must be so many opportunities that you guys get to see from your perspective of PETNET. What are you seeing as emerging business opportunities?
Right. So what we're seeing, the world is opening up to the Philippines, right? We're seeing a lot more consultants servicing Filipinos and or foreigners to bring business in, or Filipinos to bring businesses out. So that's a lot. There's a lot of opportunity there. And secondly, we're seeing many more online commerce players in the market. So some of them have opened their own websites and import from those specific brands from abroad. So there's a lot of opportunity there. Diana?
Yeah, in fact, since we're borderless right now, they can easily open business even at the comfort of their house.
That's
in
right.
the provincial region. So we're seeing a lot of that as well. And in fact, because we've seen that traction, we've just opened our satellite office in Cebu.
Oh, congratulations.
To
Wow.
cater for that, to cater for the growing business there. And so recently we've noticed Cebu growing their GDP by 5.6. And then
Wow.
when we take a look at how many businesses are there, there's about 79,000 business registered in Cebu. And these are actually the likes of those merchants as well, who are doing business at the comfort of their house, and many other business in Cebu. So that's why it's a blast for us opening that satellite office in
Wow.
Cebu.
Salamat, Gid. Salamat for all those based out of Cebu. It's nice to see how PETNET is moving lockstep together with the economy. And having said that, I think we've got a fantastic opportunity. We're going to hear from the Executive Vice President of PETNET. Yay! Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis Katubay, who will share a bit more how PETNET has helped expand businesses here in the Philippines. At the same time, sharing a bit of, the story of PETNET and how it grew here in the Philippines. So, EVP Dennis, it's up to you.
For more than 25 years, PETNET has remained steadfast in its commitment to making money matters convenient to every Filipino. Originally founded to grow the network of Western Union in the Philippines, we have swiftly evolved under the ownership of Aboitiz through Union Bank of the Philippines, extending its reach to serve both retail and corporate sectors. At PETNET Forex Solutions, our USP lies in offering class-leading and innovative forex services through convenient and seamless local FX trading of dollar-peso and cross-border payments, ensuring that every client receives tailored solutions to meet their specific needs. Our track record speaks for itself. We've helped countless businesses achieve their goals and surpass expectations. Choosing PETNET Forex Solutions is choosing simple and seamless experience and a commitment to delivering results through our personalized service. Whether you're a small startup or a large corporation, we have the tools, the talent, and the tenacity to help you propel your business to success.
Again, thanks so much, Dennis. And finally, as we wrap up with our podcast here today, I'd really appreciate it on behalf of the entrepreneurs listening here right now. What would be your pieces of management advice for them, especially when it comes to your realm of forex trading, on, I guess, how to better manage the business?
Okay. So for me, I see a lot of businesses struggle with the pricing of their costs for their goods and services. So my tip really is to talk to your FX trader or your account officer, because they can help you plan for your FX management. They can help you manage your risk. They can help you, see what's going to happen the next day, month, year, etc., so that you can also make sure that you're not operating at a loss, in the future. So that's what we do with PETNET. We make sure that as much as possible, your pricing is just right, or if you can squeeze in more revenue or savings, perfect then.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Camille. DM, yes.
Yeah, maybe I'd like to add that for entrepreneurs or business owners, regardless of the size of your business, small, medium, or large, don't be afraid to actually go into the global market, because there's always a company like PETNET Forex Solutions that's easy to deal with in terms of foreign exchange currency. So you won't be at loss if you in managing your foreign exchange requirements. So you can always compete, go big, and there's no stopping you there.
Thank you so much, DM and Camille. I'm sure many of the listeners here right now have become a bit more brave and a bit more knowledgeable about how to engage in forex trading, particularly to help grow their businesses. And because this discussion is so interesting, I'm going to have you back for the next podcast.
Wow.
So guys, thank you again so much. Thanks for listening, guys. This is the RJ Ledesma podcast. We will see you in the next podcast.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.